Round of applause to the kingdom here as we just crossed 40,000 subscribers here on the Chiefs Report. You guys are legends. What a milestone here. Appreciate all the support we've gotten over the last 2 or 3 years. Hey, the road to 41K has begun just now. So if you want more Chiefs videos, hit that subscribe button, and let's jump on into today's show. I'm Harrison Graham, and you are watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports as lots of headlines continue to circulate around the National Football League with rumors emerging from the NFL Combine. Let's get into some rumors here as Chris Jones wants Frank Clark to stay in 2023. He has made it clear to the Chiefs brass that he wants Kansas City to retain Clark for the 2023 season. Now, Clark is under contract, but we'll kind of explain as we go here. Here's Chris Jones saying, this is a special team. We keep this core together, keep Frank Clark, keep me and him together. I think we can be very, very special. And look, Chris Jones and Frank Clark have been a damn good duo, especially when Clark elevates his game in the postseason. I've been critical of him in the past, but I think if you can bring both these guys back together, that would be a very, very good thing for this defense moving forward. Brett Veach at the NFL Combine was kind of asked about this, keeping these two guys together who both have 1 year left on their deals, but contractual things could get in the way. He had this to say, quote, "The good thing for us is that we have 3 strong connections with these players that have been here a long time. They love being here. That's a good starting point for us." Now, we've obviously talked about Frank Clark and his cap situation. He's under contract, but his current cap hit for next year is $28.7 million. And if the Chiefs cut him, they save $21 million. His dead cap would only be $7.7 million. So to put bluntly and simply, he will not play at that price tag. It's just not going to happen with how the Chiefs have to manage their finances. There's no way that Frank Clark is going to play with a cap hit of almost $30 million. It's just not going to happen. And as good as Frank Clark has been in the postseason, that's just not what someone who has 5 sacks in a season makes. Like, it's just not reality. Chris Jones, at that cap hit, that's a different story because he's one of the best defensive players in the National Football League. Frank Clark is a good player that elevates in the postseason into a great player, and I do want to mention that. He is a PPP, as I call it, a proven playoff performer. I sound like Dickie V if you guys watch college basketball. A PPP, a proven playoff performer. Frank Clark has 10.5 sacks in 12 Chiefs playoff games, and he plays his best when it matters the most. I mean, he really, really does. So I do want to keep that guy around. You just can't have his cap hit be almost $30 million. That's simply too much for a player who tends to be inconsistent in the regular season. So will Frank Clark return in 2023? What say you? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Be honest with me and sound off in the comments section when it comes to Frank Clark. Now let's keep the conversation around this defensive line going as Chris Jones could be in line for a mega extension. Report from The Athletic is that Jones wants to be at least the highest or second highest paid defensive tackle in the National Football League. Here's Brett Veach again on the possibility of extending Chris Jones. He has 1 year left on his deal. He says, we'll certainly have conversations with Chris and his agents. Doing something with Chris makes sense for us, and I think Chris will want to stay here and retire a Chief. And I agree. I think both Chris Jones and Frank Clark want to stay here for the remainder of their careers, especially Jones, who has been here his entire career. And look, I would not blame him for wanting to be at least the second highest paid defensive tackle because when you look at the highest paid interior defensive lineman, yeah, Aaron Donald's $31.67 million. That's a bit of an outlier, but he's one of the greatest defensive tackles of all time. But Jones is better than DeForest Buckner. He's better than Leonard Williams and all these other guys on this list. And look, hot take alert maybe, based on this last season and where they're at in their careers, Chris Jones is better than Aaron Donald right now. Now, I'm not saying he's a better all-time player, and I'm not saying that means you should give him $31, $32 million per year. But if Chris Jones came to this front office and was like, you need to pay me $26, $27 a year, I don't know if I could really blame him. He is that dominant of a force as an interior pass rusher, which those guys don't grow on trees. Like, it is hard to find defensive tackles. You can find edge rushers. You can. Pass rushers from the interior, though, that can give you consistently 10-plus sacks and a ton of pressures and stop the run pretty well, they just don't exist. Like, you just don't see that many of those guys out there. Now, I think Chris Jones would take a tick less to stay here, but you're going to have to make him second highest paid at least. I mean, 23, 24 is probably what it's going to take at least, maybe 25, 26. And at the end of the day, that's something I would do. Like 4 years, $100 million, $25 million per year. I think that's honestly team friendly because I think someone else would probably pay him more. Now, will Chris Jones get an extension this offseason? Type S for sign, he will. P for pass, he will not. And they'll play out this last year. I think an extension is going to happen because I think both parties know that they want to be together for the foreseeable future. All right, Chris Jones, Frank Clark, they're Super Bowl champions. Chiefs Kingdom, continue to celebrate. Get some gear today. Hats, T-shirts, hoodies. We got it all at chatsports.com/ChiefsSB. Chatsports.com/ChiefsSB. Super Bowl 57 champs. It never gets old. Check that link in the comments and in the description. Click and shop today and represent Chiefs Kingdom with your Super Bowl gear. All right, this is just getting petty at this point. A.J. Brown is still butthurt at Juju Smith-Schuster. The Eagles wide receiver went off on social media after Juju apparently participated in a skit that trolled Brown. I kind of watched the video, and I was kind of confused at what was going on, to be completely honest. But A.J. Brown didn't like it, and he tweeted out before deleting this tweet of, at Team Juju, which is Juju's handle, you really need to find somebody else to play with. Don't let that ring get you beat the F up because I'm done with all the dumb shit. I'm not going to speak on it no more. And then he also DM'd him on IG DMs and put this out there and basically just called him out as well. My eyes are kind of bad, so I'm going to lean forward. He said, I don't play, yada, yada. I don't play games. If you want to fight me, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, my eyes are pretty bad, but you guys can read it on screen. I just don't really get it at this point. Like, from either side, really. If Juju's still trolling him on, like, TikTok or whatever, these skits, that's kind of lame. If A.J. Brown's really going to be butthurt on this and go on Twitter every time someone does something he doesn't like, that's lame as well. I feel like my coworker Marshall Green made a good point. I feel like you have about a week once the Super Bowl ends to kind of just get all the beef out there that you want out there. But it's over now. We're on to 2023. The damn combine is here. Free agency's around the corner. Like, enough with the petty social media games. And I would tell that to Juju, too. Like, let's move on. Like, the Chiefs are champs at the end of the day. You don't really need to say anything else at this point. So that's kind of my 2 cents on it. I'm not really a fan of the extended beef here. I think it's entertaining, but I just don't really know what it accomplishes at this point in time. All right, guys, I appreciate you for tuning in. We'll have more coverage from the NFL Combine probably tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Thanks again for 40,000 subscribers. If you want to help us reach 41,000, that would be awesome. If you haven't subbed already, please do so. We'll see you next time here on the channel.